Good evening and welcome to this week's meeting of the Rockland Board of Selectmen, brought to you live on WRPS from the H. Bernard Monahan Memorial Room at Rockland Town Hall. On this week's agenda, we've got a discussion of the appointment of an interim town administrator, an open meeting law complaint, and executive session. Now here's the Chairman of the Board of Selectmen, Mr. Larry Ryan.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Selectmen's meeting for July 31st, 2018. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Mullen, pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening and welcome. Please be advised that this open meeting is being broadcast live and recorded by WRPS for playback on Comcast Channel 14 and Verizon Channel 31. It will also be available for an online video on demand viewing at WRPSRockland.com within 24 hours of its conclusion, as are other recently recorded meeting and community events. Please go to WRPSRockland.com for further information. There's nothing under new business except for I'm going to make an announcement that Mr. Kimball has resigned his position on the Board of Selectmen effective today. Agenda items tonight, we're going to discuss the appointment of an interim town administrator. Mr. Llewellyn?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would just like to first of all take an opportunity to thank the board for giving me the opportunity to be the acting town administrator for the last 2.5 months or so. We came in during some tumultuous times, and as I said right off the bat, I knew that the town would be able to focus and continue to do the business of the town. But what I didn't know at that time was just how dedicated the town employees are and the collective effort here at Town Hall, how strong that really was. There's been a lot of talk recently about how in the last 9 or 10 years the town has made great strides and all of that. And I can tell you now, from having sat in this chair for a couple of months and sitting in my other positions, that it was a collective effort. It was not because of any one individual or any 2 or 3 individuals. It was a collective effort on behalf of the employees of the town, all the way up through and including the department heads right here in Town Hall and the other department heads that are not here in Town Hall. So it's given me an opportunity, an eye-opening, an awakening, if you will, to see just how cooperative this town comes together. And I will suggest it's because of the leadership of the board, and people want to do the right thing, and the town of Rockland is going to continue strong. Now, during this time, there's been a lot going on here at Town Hall, a lot going on at the police station. As you know, we've lost some officers recently. I've had an opportunity to work with the assistant town administrator. I am 100% certain that the town of Rockland will be well served if you as a board tonight would consider appointing Marcy Birmingham, the acting town administrator, and letting me go back to do my job back at the police station. We've got through some pretty tough times recently, and while that was going on, all I saw was Marcy just running the business of the town. She a very level-headed woman, a very intelligent, very capable of multitasking, which I can tell you I had no idea just how difficult that was in there. But I would ask that you consider tonight, when we go into executive session, I guess, that you consider letting me go, for lack of a better way to put it, and appointing Marcy, because I think that she's more than qualified, and I think you'll be well served with her as acting town administrator.
So
I think we plan to make that
Do an open session? Okay,
open
good.
session right now.
All right,
so.
good, good.
I just had a few thoughts, Mr.
No, absolutely.
And to kind of piggyback everything on the chief mentioned, first of all, I want to thank the chief. I think I'll really even be here or like in a place that would be even close to having this conversation without the incredible efforts of John Llewellyn, Chief Llewellyn, over the past 2 or so months. Our chief, I mean, I think it was June 4th or something when you came before us that evening and you pledged to bring back order into Town Hall, and that's exactly what you've done. You know, the preceding weeks before that were very stressful and tumultuous here at Town Hall. You helped like rebuild a lot of the morale that had taken a hit in the preceding weeks, and because those were really a few very stressful weeks. And as you do with everything, you brought, you brought ethics, you brought integrity, and you brought a bunch of our class as well. And prior to these 2 months, to be honest with you, Chief, as you know, I really didn't know you well at all. I think we had a handful of conversations on the past 10 years, actually, but I really appreciated our work together. I truly appreciate what you do for Rockland, like in your, shall I say, real job, but also especially for the past 2 months to really help make sure we don't lose the progress in the, in the beat that we've built up over the past 10 years. But, thank you for restoring, helping to restore people's faith in their Rockland Town government. And I can say that I think collectively as a board, we're going to continue working tirelessly and as hard as we can to continue doing that. But I also agree with you about making Marcy Birmingham our interim town administrator. Marcy is one of the people here that's really, in my opinion, the lifeblood of Town Hall. And before this situation, whether it's been the infrastructure issues she's worked on, the grants, the countless projects, the amazing reputation that Marcy has really built in the past 3 years here, among residents, amongst our business leaders. We've been having a huge effort and a lot of successes trying to revitalize Rockland Center. And Marcy has actually led that effort. And but as you mentioned, Chief, how she's handled the past few months has frankly, I knew Marcy well beforehand, but the past 2 months has really proved, shall I say, how well we know people. And Marcy has, the issues she's handled, and frankly, the progress you've continued to make, Marcy, throughout that time. And I mean, I'm sure other members will talk about it as well, but just in the past few weeks alone, I think it's 3 or 4 grants that the town has been awarded. I mean, and and everyone on social media, everyone everywhere has talked about how Rockland's in turmoil. And we have a lot of challenges we're dealing with, but the town is making progress. And it's making progress because of people like Marcy, because of Marcy, and all the employees and residents, and who we frankly have doing amazing things for the town. So, I'm not sure, if we can make a motion now. I think we should. It's appropriate to do that in open session, but I'll make a motion to make Marcy Birmingham our interim town administrator.
I'll second the motion.
Do you have any comments?
Yeah, Mike pretty much covered everything.
Oh, sorry.
But I would like to say to the chief, a couple months ago you promised law and order and a sense of calm, and you 100% delivered on that promise to us. And personally, I thank you, and the town thanks you for helping us get through this. And we will let you go. And I know your wife is probably more happy than anybody to hear that, because she gives me a hard time when I see her. So you are free to go back to the police station with our gratitude, obviously. And Marcy, I've always had confidence in you. And I know you can do this job, and I look forward to working with you.
And I'm just going to say thank you, Chief. Did a great job. A little bit of turmoil going in, but you know something? Come out on top. Town of Rockland's going to go in the right direction. It is going in the right direction. We had a couple of little bumps in the road, and those bumps have been smoothed out, and on we go. And with that, I'm going to say I have a motion and a second to appoint Marcy Birmingham as the interim town administrator. All in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous vote. Welcome aboard.
So do you want to switch now?
No, we're gonna let the chief sit in the hot seat for the rest of the day here. because we told him we'd let him do that.
Could I just make a quick
You
comment?
may, please.
Chairman Rice, I just want to thank the board for their support and assure you that we will continue to work hard to get the daily business of the town hall done. And I appreciate all the kind words, but I have to say the same thing that Chief Llewellyn said in the beginning and that you've echoed, that we really have a great team of people here at the town hall. Not one of us operates in a vacuum, and I am privileged to work with great department heads and staff in the town of Rockland, and value the relationship that I've cultivated with business owners and residents too. So we would love to hear from residents and businesses and the public and staff as much as they need to stop by the town hall, the Board of Selectmen's office. We're here to help get the town hall back on a level footing and serve the residents of the town. And I'd also be remiss if I didn't thank Attorney Clifford, who has worked tirelessly on the town's behalf for the last couple of months. And I have gotten to know Chief Llewellyn and Attorney Clifford very well. I've so appreciated working with you and learning from you, Chief. I actually will really miss it when you go back to the police station. And John, honestly, you have been such a resource. Thank you very much. So thank you all.
All right, next on the agenda is an open meeting law complaint from the 19th of June. I'm going to read a statement here that's prepared from Mr. Clifford, our town attorney. On July 19, 2018, the Board of Selectmen met in a properly posted open meeting. At the beginning of the meeting, a member of the board made statements and initiated a discussion about an ongoing investigation involved alleged misconduct between a member of the board and the town administrator. The board was advised by town council at the time that it would be improper to continue that discussion as it was not on the agenda. On June 21st, 2018, the board was served with a complaint that we had violated Massachusetts open meeting law. The complaint was filed by an attorney representing Mr. Chalker. The Board of Selectmen directed town council to review the complaint and issue a response. Attorney Clifford has determined that the June 19th discussion was a violation of the open meeting law, and in order to address this violation, we want the board to take the following actions. And one is a motion that the Board of Selectmen vote to accept the findings of town council and acknowledge that the discussion of the investigation on June 19, 2018 did constitute a violation of the Massachusetts open meeting law.
And I'll make that motion. Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Now I'll need a motion that the board vote on going forward, that the board going forward, we commit to a full compliance with the Massachusetts open meeting law.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second, all in favor? That's a vote. I move that the town council and the town administrator schedule open meeting law training for members of this board along with any other employees or officials in the month of September.
Also make that motion.
Second.
Would that be contingent that we can get that done in September and not October, just in case we can't schedule it by then?
Yes, as soon as timely possible.
Okay, we'll add that in. All in favor? That's a vote. Thank you very much. That was simple. Number 3, we had originally had a resident's request to recall petition status, and I'm going to call up the recall people now to have a few words to the town of Rockland.
Richard Penny, 30 Center Ave. So first off, I want to say thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak. I do want to say thank you to Mr. Kimball for almost a decade of dedicated service to our town on the board, as well as other civic activities he's been a part of. It is not going to noticed or unappreciated. What tonight was I was going to come up to talk about the update on the recall. But with the events that took place this morning, that no longer is going to have to take place. There is no recall anymore, and we can start to move forward. I would, however, like to thank the many citizens of Rockland who united together for this common cause. It was truly amazing. I'm extremely encouraged by the number of individuals who participated in the process and hope that these events are a stepping stone for many of these individuals to stay active and involved in our town. It's really important. And one last thing, it should never be a few speaking for the masses. it should always be the masses speaking for a few, and we can't forget that. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rich.
Regarding a town election, it's not on the agenda tonight. We'll set next month's agenda to finalize a date for the special election where 2 people will be elected instead of just one of each. But there will be one ballot, one position that runs for 6 months, and there'll be one that runs for a year and a half, or roughly. So if you want to run for selectman, you have to make your determination which one you're going to run for, either the 6-month term or the year and a half term. And that's all we'll discuss of that tonight. Selectmen's comments. The comments and opinions expressed by individual members do not necessarily reflect the views. I don't see any kind of town administrator's comments here. No, that's good. All right. And do not necessarily reflect the views of the Board of Selectmen and the opinions and comments of only the individual member. Mr. Mullen.
I have a few things, and I hope I won't take any of Mr. O'Loughlin's points as well. But first of all, I also want to thank Ed Kimball for his time on the board. I know, just as one member of the board, that this whole situation has really been extremely difficult, like for our entire board, and also for everyone involved. And I'm frankly looking back to really getting back to be able to do what we were all elected to do, and that's working with residents to move Rockland forward, to address issues, and really to make sure that Rockland becomes and is and remains the vibrant, supportive community that we all want it to be, and that it always has been. So, I think today's news is like a step forward in allowing that to happen, and frankly, I'm excited to get back to being able to govern the town forward. A few other things, in that same vein, I just want to thank everyone really also for their patience with us over these past few months. I don't think it can be said enough how stressful this whole situation's been. There's been a lot of issues that we frankly haven't been able to talk about, but I hope everyone here and at home and throughout Rockland knows that everything we've been doing has really been to protect the town and to represent the town in the best way possible, as we've always done. So I want to just mention that. I also, this is number 3 or 4, but I also want to piggyback on what Marcy said to also thank Attorney Clifford for, and honestly, for being our rock in this whole issue and over the past 2 months. Again, I didn't really know Chief Llewellyn too well at the outset of this. I frankly really didn't know Tony Clifford that well either. But God, I think all of us have got to know Tony Clifford well, and I just have to say, for the record, that I also have been impressed with Tony Clifford's integrity, how he has approached this entire issue, how I really, truly believe that he has had this our town's interest and the entire town's interest at heart since day one in this issue, but even before, well before this issue, as long as he's represented the town as our council. And Attorney Clifford, I just want to thank you for being our rock, for being the voice of legalese that we need, frankly. I'm not sure other way to put it, but really thank you for, the phone calls, the keeping this board informed, and so we're able to do what we would like to do. I can't thank you enough. So I really appreciate it on behalf of the residents of Rockland. And finally, lastly, and I have a piece of gum in my mouth that I really should have spit out at the outset of this. That's aggravating the heck out of me. But lastly, this Friday at the farmers market is actually the last day for the Soul of Rockland. And I think this is the fourth time the Soul of Rockland, and the final time that the Soul of Rockland will be up at the farmers market. And if you haven't come up to take part in it, like Marcy and I volunteered 2 weeks ago. Pat Foley volunteered, as she always does, the first week. We just have had a bunch of amazing volunteers, and anyone who has participated in it. It's really been an incredible effort, asking people to come, to share their footprint, to paint their footprint, and to share with us what their favorite place is in Rockland Center. And actually throughout the whole town, because people have done that as well. So with that being said, I hope I left a few things for Mr. O'Laughlin, and I will shut up. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, we might have to switch the order here. Maybe I should not leave my notes in the office anymore. Yeah, you pretty much said everything that I was going to say, so I don't want to go on like Mr. Mullen did. But I just want to apologize to the members of the community that have put up with this over the last several months. Well, the last several months, it's been members of this office have really embarrassed our community. It's going to take some time for us as board members to earn back the respect and the trust of the community that I'm sure we've lost. Just want to give the promise that we can be better, and as a board we will be better. That's it.
Thank you. I was asked by the press today about the black eye that Rockland got. And I looked them in the eye and said, Rockland didn't get a black eye. Some people in Rockland got black eyes. Just because somebody worked for you, people work for us all over the place. People get in trouble here and there. It's on them. It's not on the town. It's on them. So with that, I'm gonna drop it from now, from this meeting, and I hope it's dropped from this meeting forevermore. The people are gone. The king is dead. Long live the king, as the saying goes. So let's do with that. I really want to take the time to thank Vinnie Fontaine and the Allied vets and all the people that were involved in bringing the Wall of Healing over to the air base. I was fortunate enough to be able to speak to the crowd that day, and I guess some of the things I said were kind of poignant, but the thing that came out of it with me was, in those days, the 1970s, and people hated the military. They didn't want the military. If you were a military guy, people wanted to spit on you. And now it's the police. Now it's the police. Why? Why did people want to do that? And something I ask myself, and socially you look at it and you say, why these questions? But I think that it becomes, we listen to the media way too much. Because, not all the things that go on in any situation are going on all the time. I mean, there are instances where things are wrong and they get corrected. But for the community or to the country as a people to turn on the police and the people that are taking care of them every day, and now cops are getting shot every other week. We got to get a grip on it, folks, quite frankly. But anyway, I want to thank Vinnie Fontaine and the Allied Council for allowing me to speak a few words and to be there, because I have friends on that wall, and I visited men in Great Lakes Naval Hospital whose names are on that wall, and it was a sad thing those years. And and people don't want to remember, but you know what? I want to remember them. I want to remember my friends that gave their lives for this country. I don't care if you didn't agree with them. This country is so divided. I feel bad for people that spout their hatred on the Facebook every day. There's no need of it. We got enough hatred in the world. Anyway, Rockland, let's go forward. The past is the past. On we go. With that, I'm going to accept a motion to go into executive session to discuss strategy regarding contract negotiations with non-union personnel and to conduct contract negotiations with non-union personnel. We're going to reconvene in open session to tell you what we've done and how much it's going to cost you. But anyway, it's just, we're going to get into contract, so. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Aye. There you go. We'll be back. And this time, the town council will tell you what we done.
So the board discussed, first, a contract for Eugene Gingras as IT director for the town. The board voted to award Mr. Gingras a 3-year contract with a salary of $88,000 in the first year. So I recommend that the board vote in open session to approve a contract with those terms.
Make a motion?
Second?
There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
The second point of discussion with the board was to amend Marcy's contract to adjust her salary to an annual salary of $95,000 just for the period that she serves as interim town administrator. I would like to add a few things before the board votes. It's my experience that interim town administrators typically take the salary of the incumbent, which is substantially more than $95,000. Also, the board has determined that you would not be backfilling the position of assistant town administrator, so that essentially Marcy will be taking on her old responsibilities and obviously some new responsibilities as well. And I think it should be recognized at this time that as hard as John Llewellyn worked, as great a job as he did during this time, he did it for no extra pay. So the board is not throwing around money recklessly with this, but the board has voted, again, to amend Ms. Birmingham's contract just for the period that she serves as interim town administrator to a weekly equivalent of $95,000.
Make a motion to approve?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? It's unanimous vote. Welcome on, Ms. Dangerfield.
Thank you, Marcy.
You're welcome. Thank you.
With that,
I'll make a motion
Second?
to adjourn.
motion is second. A roll call vote? Mr. Mullin?
Yes.
Mr. O'Laughlin and myself. Thank you, everyone, for coming in.
Thank you.
Staying so late.